कुंज बिहारी जय
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ
जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन
यशोदानन्दन रज जन रञ्जन
यमुना तीरावनचारि
यमुनातीरावनचारि।
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानन्दन रज जन रञ्जन
यमुना तीरावनचारि
यमुनातीरावनचारि।
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
नित्य गौर हरि बोल
हरि बोल।
हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल।
जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद।
जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव।
जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवाजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शशि श्री ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय।
जय
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की
जय
जय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम
ॐ
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम
ॐ नमो भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरये।
ततो जयो मुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया।
नित्यं भागवत सेवया।
भगवते उत्तम श्लोके
भगवता
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
Hare Krishna. So I welcome you all. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, The Son of Drona Punished, text number 33. Mataji, if you can present that on the screen, this one, 1733. Thank you. Tata asadya tarsa darunam gautami sutam bandham tambraksha pashum rasnaya yatha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Tataha thereupon, Asadhya arrested, Tarasa dexterously, Darunam dangerous, Gautami Sutam the son of Gautami, Babandha bound up, Amarshaha angry, Tamra Akshaha with copper red eyes, Pashum animal, Rasnaya by ropes, Yatha as it were. Translation. Arjuna, his eyes blazing in anger like two red balls of copper, dexterously arrested the son of Gautami and bound him with ropes like an animal. Purport. Ashwathama's mother, Kripi, was born in the family of Gautama. The significant point in this sloka is that Ashwathama was caught and bound up with ropes like an animal. According to Sridhar Swami, Arjuna was obliged to catch this son of a Brahmana like an animal as a part of his duty, dharma. This suggestion by Sridhara Swami is also confirmed in the later statement of Sri Krishna. Ashwathama was a bona fide son of Dronacharya and Kripi. But because he had degraded himself to a lower status of life, it was proper to treat him as an animal and not as a Brahmana. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjan-shalakya Chakshurun militam yena tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manoabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swamrupa Kada Mahiyam Dadati Sapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shutapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanstam श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे Yeah. So today's shloka is Canto 1, Chapter 7, text number 33. Tat asadya tarasa darudam gautami sutam vabandha tamraksha pashum rashnaya yatha. Arjuna, his eyes blazing in anger like two red balls of copper, dexterously arrested the son of Gautami and bound him with ropes like an animal. Hare Krishna. So today is a very auspicious day. Today is appearance of Lord Vara Deva, and he's so merciful that on the Lord's appearance day we have to fast, do fasting. But his fasting was done yesterday itself, along with Ekadasi. And in Reading we had nice festival as well yesterday. Um, it was very blissful. Hope all who joined there enjoyed it. Okay, so today's shloka. So this is about Arjuna. So we'll just go to in the background of this to set the context. Those who have been joining regularly, they would know the context, but I will very briefly tell the background. So Ashwatthama, when he was made commander in chief of the Kauravas army, almost towards the end of the battle, that Mahabharata war, he actually killed Upapandavas. The Upapandava means son of the Pandavas from Draupadi, actually, five sons of Draupadi. He killed them in their sleep. Very abominable, heinous act, actually. Then Arjuna started chasing him to capture and punish. Ashwatthama saw Arjuna approaching him, and he saw Arjuna as death personified. So he was very, very scared, terrified. And he thought of only one option of invoking Brahmastra, though he did not know how to revoke it. That was very, very irresponsible act on his part. One, obviously, killing those innocent child. Actually, they were young boys. While they were sleeping, he killed them, and then releasing this Brahmastra. So, having seen the devastating effect, actually it just created like a big fireball kind of thing, a very glaring light was coming from that Brahmastra. Then Arjuna took shelter to the lotus feet of the Lord, and Lord advised him to invoke another Brahmastra and then revoke both of them. That is Arjuna's Brahmastra as well as Brahmastra released by Ashwatthama. So Arjuna knew this science of invoking and revoking Brahmastra, both. So in that way, he was able to then take back both Brahmastra. And in this verse, the further event is being explained that after taking back both Brahmastra, Arjuna has arrested, is captured Ashwatthama. So here, Ashwatthama is addressed, he's mentioned as, referred as Gautami, um, because his mother, Kripi, she was born in a family of Gautama Rishi. So from mother side, Ashwatthama was in the lineage of Gautam Rishi. And obviously his father is another qualified Brahmana, Dronacharya. So he has got very aristocratic, nice, perfect family lineage. But still, we'll see actually what was the cause. Why did he act in such an abominable way? Did this heinous crime of killing innocent boys? That actually poses this natural question, right? When we read these texts, and those type of question we should be asking and then trying to find out the answer so that we get the thing in a proper perspective. This is how we should be reading scriptures and sastras. And if things are not clear, then we should approach bona fide, spiritual master and those who have already learned it and practicing it to clear our, whatever confusion we have or something, our curiosity actually. I won't say doubt, because we should never doubt whatever is mentioned in the shastras. But yes, out of curiosity, we can go and ask and request to clarify those points. That vidhi paripati and pariprashna sevya. So that is always encouraged in the Vedic system, that you can ask questions. So here Prabhupada mentions in the purport, though purport is small, but as Acharya, they always try to give some learning from each and every text mentioned in the scriptures. So Prabhupada is saying here the significant point. The significant point in this sloka, Prabhupada says, is that Ashwatthama was caught and bound up with ropes like an animal. So one may ask this question that Ashwatthama is a Brahmana. So why Arjuna, being a Kshatriya, is capturing him, Ashwatthama, and moreover, he is also binding him like an animal. So that question can be asked, and this is what Prabhupada is saying, that this is the significant point, because this is extraordinary event. Um, Actually, in those ages, Kali Yuga is different, but this is from Dwapar Yuga. Brahmanas, they were, given respect, proper respect. But here, a Brahmana is being captured and also bound by a rope like an animal. So this, if we try to analyze it, this will give us, some very good insight about the demoniac nature. How association can degrade one from a position of Brahmana to, to a position where a person is forced to act in such an abominable way as Ashwatthama did. And then on other part, we can also analyze the duty-bound act done by Arjuna. And also, when there was difficulty, like for Ashwatthama, when he saw almost like, imminent death, Arjuna as death personified, what did he do? What was his thought process? What was his behavior and act? And on the same at the same time, when Arjuna saw this, Brahmastra being released, what was his thought process and what was his act? So, if we carefully analyze, then we can see the difference between a devotee and and a non-devotee. We'll go through those points, try to analyze these aspects. So, first thing about this, why he's being treated like an animal, even though he is referred here as Gautami, not by his name, right? Here, um, Vyasdeva could have said Ashwathama, but he said Gautami, showing that he is coming from a great lineage from Gautam Rishi. And on the other side, Dronacharya, but who's from Rishi Bharadwaj lineage. So both from mother side and father side, great lineage legacy. But still, he is acting in such an abominable way. So if we uh, try to understand this, then we can get this answer that all these activities done by Ashwatthama is because of his association, associating with Kauravas, Duryodhana, and others. In that way, he actually degraded himself to this position. And why is he being treated like animal? So there is Sanskrit, very good Sanskrit shloka as well, which says, Esham na vidya na tapo na danam, jnanam na shilam na guno na dharmaha, te martya loke bhuvi bharabhuta, manusya rupen mrigas charanti. So here mrigas charanti means an animal just wandering here and there on this planet Earth. Um, uh, and what are the qualifications or disqualification of such person who is compared as an animal? Esham na vidya na tapo na danam. Those who does not have any knowledge, no austerity, they will not do any charity. Uh, na shilam, na guno, na dharma. Doesn't know anything about religiosity, what is to be done, what not to be done, uh, uh, etc. So they are just like a burden on this planet Earth, and they just wander here and there, just like an animal. So here we can see that in the act of killing innocent child of Draupadi while they were sleeping, um, is like irreligious act, because one is only a Kshatriya is allowed to kill someone who has done some irreligious act or is there on the battlefield fighting with his opponent. Then Kshatriya can kill another Kshatriya on the battlefield, but not somebody who is in his camp in the dead of the night, sleeping without any protection, doesn't have any weapon with him to protect or fight. So this was very, very heinous crime actually, and that shows there is no dharma, no shil, nothing, and that in that way he can be compared. His act can be compared as an animal act, and that's why Arjuna rightfully captured him and then he binds him with rope just like an animal. So that gives this aspect. Why is he being treated? Why Ashwathama is being treated like this? And that is important because as a Kshatriya, Arjuna has to also set up example. Like those who are miscreant, they must be punished uh, in order to create order in the society. Otherwise, others will also take example and they may also uh, act in that irresponsible way if there is no fear of punishment. So punishment is also required, that danda. Uh, uh, that is the job of a ruler, Kshatriya. Even in this age also, you have law of the state. If somebody is violating the laws of the state, that person is liable to get punishment. So punishment is both like punitive and corrective. One is like to correct that person, because in that case, after undergoing that punishment, uh, that person does some sort of atonement to his sinful act. And also it gives in examples to other not to violate the laws. Otherwise, that person will also get into trouble. So it is like a some sort of shield, right? Uh, whereby rulers can protect the rule of the law. So in that way, Arjuna was duty bound to act like this. And this is why Prabhupada is saying here, Arjuna was obliged to catch the son of a Brahmana like an animal as a part of his duty, dharma. So here he did not, he was not in this double mind or some kind of dilemma what to do. He was very clear that what was his duty. Being a duty, is very clear in his mind. We have seen that in previous few, I think three, four or five shloka back, Ashwatthama is also called as Brahman Bandhu, Dvij Bandhu. So Dvij Bandhu is a person who is born in a Brahmana family, but does not necessarily have all the Brahmanic qualification. So they are also called Brahman Bandhu. So in that way, it was again perfectly okay for Arjuna to capture Ashwatthama and uh, bound him up with ropes like an animal. However, in the coming shlokas, towards the end of this chapter, we'll see the good, qualities of devotee, particularly on the part of Draupadi. So this is a very interesting chapter actually. It gives so many aspects, so many ways you can look at the various characters in this event. Ashwatthama's character, Arjuna's character, and Draupadi. Draupadi's character is so much glorified, so many qualities. So we will see that in coming weeks when we are going to those shlokas. So uh, the association is very important. Association can make one saint, can make one demon as well. So that is the impact of association, that even though being born in a great family, a Brahmana family, Ashwatthama did this heinous crime. And in fact, it was not even approved by Duryodhana. When Duryodhana almost at the verge of his death, he came to know that Ashwatthama had killed Draupadi's son. He was not very happy. He did not even approve it. And because of this association, another thing we can see in uh, on the part of Ashwatthama is that when Arjuna was trying to punish him, go and catch him, he tried to resist, trying to dodge um, uh, by using his whatever power he had. And if somebody is trying to dodge the system or resist the punishment, then he is liable to get more punishment. This we can see even, even the court of law as well. If somebody who pleads guilty, probably that person gets some relaxation, some lenient view by the judge or jury. So this is another thing, not accepting the mistake and trying to resist. This is another. thing we can see in the demonic quality. On the other hand, say those who have divine qualities, particularly you can see in the devas. Say, for example, Lord Indra during this Govardhan Leela, when he realized that his mistake, he accepted his mistake, and he did nice prayer to Lord Sri Krishna. So these are the thing we can see between demon and divine quality. And another point which we can see that those who are in the demoniac quality, they will never surrender into Krishna. And that behavior can be seen when there is some imminent danger. If there is some, great difficulty, then demonic people, they will try to come out of that situation by using their own so-called power or strength or influence. But devotees, they always take shelter of Krishna, dependent on Krishna. So here we can see that Ashwatthama, he tried to come out of this dangerous situation when Arjuna was chasing him by releasing Brahmastra irresponsibly, just for his own safety. Whereas Arjuna, he is expert in the military science. He knew not only how to invoke Brahmastra, but he also knew how to revoke it. But he did not release Brahmastra immediately. He, if you see like three previous slokas from 22 onwards, he prayed to Krishna. And he then asked, what is it, why there is a, this uh, effulgence is spreading all around, etc., etc. And then submitted to Krishna for his guidance. That is the quality of a devotee. Because devotees always surrendered to Krishna in his care, in his protection. He did not think that, okay, I'm expert in military science, let me also use my Brahmastra or something like that. No, he again submitted himself to Krishna and requested for his advice. That is the quality of a devotee. And this is the, in devotional life, the devotee is not in charge of his or her life. Actually, Krishna is in charge. So in that way, in every situation, in whatever situation one may be, a devotee always approaches Krishna, because Krishna is devotee's life and soul. So in that way, they never act independently. This is the thing which we can learn, from this episode. How did Ashwatthama behave, respond, and how did Arjuna respond to that situation? Um, so, why a person having demonic quality behaves in that way? That, okay, I must do something on my own. But just let me clarify one point. Arjuna approaching Krishna and asking for his advice, it doesn't mean that he is like, trying to avoid his duty. No, it is like taking guidance from your guru. And in Bhagavad Gita, we learn from that Krishna Arjuna has already submitted to Krishna and accepted him as his guru. Shishyateham Shishyateham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. And that's why he was taking that advice. And after that, he did whatever was expected out of him. And he does it tarasa Darunam Gautami Sutam. Prabhupada mentioned here that he dexterously arrested. So very he's expert in performing his duty. But always taking advice from the higher authority. And this is how a Kshatriya should work, under the care of a qualified spiritual master, qualified Brahmana who can guide, who can give instructions how to rule. Because Brahmanas, they are supposed to be expert in the matter of religion, what is to be done, what is not to be done, etc. So they can guide. That is like a mind of the body, brain of the body rather. Uh, like that. Now, why somebody in a demonic propensity act like that? That they always think that, okay, I need to do something because I need to find solution, and there is no other like Krishna or any higher authority whom I should approach and seek guidance. Because Krishna says, Prakrite Kremanani Guna Karmani Sarvasha Ahankar Vimudhatma Karta Miti Manyate. So these spirit souls, actually anybody who is in the influence of mental energy, they get bewildered. And by the influence of such false ego, uh, thinking himself to be the doer of activities. But Krishna says, Prakritya Kriyamanani Guna Karmani Sarvasha. But actually, they do not know that these activities are carried out by the three modes of material nature. And out of pride, this false ego, ahankar vimudhatma, a foolish person, ahankar vimudhatma, karta miti manyate. They think himself of the doer of the activities. That is a demonic propensity or propensity of a person who is under the influence of material energy. That they think that I am doing it. That's why I must need to find out some solution, whether it is as per Shastric injunctions or not. They just don't care. And they don't care means they don't care about the consequences. And that means mudha as well. Foolish. This is foolish act. Any act which is being performed without thinking of the consequences is foolish act. Right? Intelligent person will always think of the consequences before acting. So this is another thing which we can learn from this. Another point. Um, but on the other hand, for a devotee, they uh, consider Krishna as the in charge of their lives because they are fully surrendered, and that way they are fearless in those troublesome situation as well. Because Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yagatapsam Sarvalok Maheshwaram Suhridyam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mam Shanti Mrichati. In that way, they are always, they attain peace from the pangs of this material miseries because they consider Krishna as the Supreme Lord, ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, etc. And then Krishna says, Suryadyam Sarvabhutanam, that he is the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities. And if Krishna is well-wisher, then there is no cause of worry. Krishna is saying that, but actually we do not take his words out of our own false ego or some kind of misconception, illusion, not knowing, ignorance, etc., etc. But Krishna says, Suhridayam Sarvabhutana. If I've got Krishna as my well-wisher, then there is nothing to worry about. And this is what Arjuna is showing in his act. Now, there is another word here mentioned, uh, Amarsha, which is angry. Who is angry? Arjuna is angry. So much so that here he says, Babandha Marsha Tamra Akshaha. Tamraksha with copper red eyes. He was so angry that his eyes were red like a copper, hot copper. Tamraksha. So now one may say, okay, anger is not a good quality. So why Arjuna is angry here, right? Um, in when Krishna explains uh, divine and demonic nature in Bhagavad Gita, there he mentioned as well anger is one of the demonic quality. So how do we understand this? So for that we need to see what Krishna says about anger. How does it arise? That is again there in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says that dhyayato vishayan punsaha sangasto shupajayate sangast sanjayate kama kamat krodho abhijayate. So that krodh means anger. That comes from kama, lust. And that lust comes from the attachment uh, for the objects of the senses. And that attachment to the object of the senses comes from the contemplating, always thinking about those sense objects. Dhyayato vishayan punsa. So that is the chain of action from thinking about the sense objects to krodha, anger. Because when you think, when you continuously think about it, you hanker for it, and you develop attachment. From that attachment, and ultimately it converts into kama, that lust develops. And when you don't get it, then that lust gets converted into anger. And then further Krishna says, Krodhot bhavati, sammohas, smriti vibhrama, etc., etc. That krodh. But here, Arjuna's krodh is not generated out of kama or lust. It is out of his sense of duty. So this anger is different than the anger which is of demonic quality. So anything, even anger can be used in the service of the Lord. And that example we can see from Hanumanji, his act. When he went to Sri Lanka to find about Sita's, whereabout, then actually he was not asked to destroy Lanka, but out of anger, he burnt Lanka to ashes. That was um, that was also out of anger. But Hanumanji actually is serving Lord Sri Ramchandra by his anger as well in this particular case. So anger is, this was Prabhupada has mentioned in other places in his purport as well, that Hanumanji used his anger in the service of Lord Ramchandra. So that anger is different. Because after that anger, there is no, further degradation. That krodhot bhavati sammohat vismriti vibhrama, vismriti bhranshad buddhi nasho, and buddhi nashat pranashyati. There is nothing like, after intelligence is lost and then one is falls down in the material pool. That didn't happen. That was not the case with Lord Hanuman. And similarly, that is not the case here with Arjuna, even though he's angry. So much so that his eyes are red like a copper. Tamraksha. So demonic propensity that results in bondage, conditioned life. And here we can again compare, just like Ashwathama is bound by ropes like an animal. So Jiva also out of rebellious nature is bound of material nature, bound by material nature. And on the other side, how to get out of this is Devi Hesha Gudamai Mam Maya Duratya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. So Krishna says that divine energy of mind, is very difficult to overcome. Duratya, Mam Maya Duratya. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Arjuna and Ashwatthama, we can just compare. On the other side, Ashwatthama, another side is Arjuna. So, Krishna, that's why I said, become my devotee, chant holy name, take shelter uh, of Krishna and get freed from material bondage. And in that way, uh, by taking shelter of Krishna, taking shelter of holy name, we can make our human birth successful. Okay, it's 2 past 9, so I will stop here. I thank you all very much for your time. And now we can open up if for any questions or any comments, reflections. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for another wonderful class. Very nice. Mm, Really, the takeaway is the importance of association. Like association can make one saint and can also make one demon. Very nice. I think there is a question from Nayan
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hiram.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Amazing class. It's as Mataji said, so many things to take away. And I mean,
God always say amazing class. I don't know amazing. I just repeat whatever I hear, I read, that's all. So it's a previous acharyas and all the devotees um, who have deciphered all these texts, which you are finding amazing.
your style, true, probably your style of explaining things and linking them together, maybe it's really helpful for all of us. That's why we feel really connected and engaged in the discussion as well. So thank you so much for that. Last point, for example, you mentioned like all jivas are like ashwastama bound by maya, and then the only solution is, I mean, your solution as well. So I mean, so many things to learn, contemplate, and practice as well. So thank you so much for that. Just one quick sort of thing I just wanted to check was, uh, here it's mentioned about Sridhar Swami. Prabhupada also quoted Sridhar Swami, so I'm not sure was he like someone from Gaudiya Vaishnava or from someone who translated?
Yes,
Or
he's one of our acharyas. Yes.
okay, bro. Yeah, I mean, I have never sort of read about it, so I just thought of checking.
I
Yes,
think if I open Bhagavad Gita, probably it will be there in this disciplic succession as well.
yes. Okay, bro. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, bro. Hare
It's a
Krishna.
great acharya. Prabhupada has quoted him um, so many places. So Prabhupada actually has very kindly given purport in such a way that we are getting teachings of all previous acharyas as well, right?
Yeah.
So Prabhupada, following the Acharya Shishya Parampara, he has actually he used to go through all the purports, tikas written by these great acharyas, and then Prabhupada has added his own understanding so that we can understand, right? Because those acharyas commentary are such a standard is such a high level that probably we will find it difficult to understand. Then Prabhupada has simplified their commentary for us to understand. So Prabhupada's purport actually is also summary of all the tikas written by previous acharyas. Prabhupada has taken so much pain in, so he's put so much effort um, writing all those books for our benefit. So we must utilize all opportunity available with us to read carefully all these Prabhupada's books, read it, contemplate on it, study, discuss with others, other devotees, etc., trying to understand between the line why Prabhupada is saying so, this particular sentence he has mentioned in purport. Why he's mentioning that? What is the cross reference from other, Prabhupada's books? What is the cross reference from other chapters? And that way you will find it very, very interesting and you will enjoy it. Uh,
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Professor.
oh,
Thank you so
sorry.
much.
Oh, yeah. So your question about Acharya, yes. So that
Yeah.
is answered, right?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. That, I mean, thank you so much. As you mentioned, it's generating. I mean, we say it's amazing all the classes on Sunday because uh, it's generating interest in understanding these things, at least for me, and that's why I really feel.
Yeah, that's the purpose. Somehow or other we should get attracted,
Yes,
right?
thank you so much,
Somebody
Prabhuji.
may get attracted by prasadam. Somebody may get attracted by, hearing kirtan. Somebody may get attracted by just books, amazing books. Okay, any other question in the chat? Let me see if there is any. No, no question in the chat.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question with regards to this topic of association. In
Yes,
our lives, there are some association which helps us directly in the path of Krishna consciousness.
yes.
There are some associations which do not, but still are necessary in our lives.
Is
Um,
still necessary, you said, or
yeah,
unnecessary?
necessary
Okay,
in our
okay.
lives to
Yes,
perform various
yes, yes, got it.
functions,
Yes,
roles, etc.
yes, yes.
And again, in terms of association, uh, there are some which we, let's say, directly control, and then there are some which comes and goes.
Hmm.
So how do we know out of all these where Krishna is trying to lead us? What is Krishna's will? Number one. Number two, Prabhuji, how do we prioritize among all these
Hmm.
different types of associations?
Okay. So your first part, Krishna's will, he always wants us to get rid of this material trouble and come back to him. So there is no doubt we should have at any point in time about Krishna's desire. Okay. So it is not that Krishna is not willing. He is always willing, but we are not willing. We are not ready to go back. I mean, this material world is like a jail, wonderful jail. There is no boundary walls, nothing, but still nobody wants to come out of it. So it is our
Hmm.
desire that we are still trying to be in this place out of ignorance. So Krishna's desire is always clear. He doesn't want us to suffer in this material world, but he has given this choice, free will to decide, and he's always helping. He comes like as an incarnation. He sends all these great acharyas, guru, etc., to guide us. All these scriptures to guide us what to do and what not to do, and how we can get out of this material entanglement. So his will is always clear. We should be absolutely clear about this, as he always wants us to get out of this material entanglement and go back to him. That is your answer to your first part of your question. Second part was, I think you were trying to ask, we have favorable association and we have some not so favorable or unfavorable association, but those are necessity for
Hmm.
us to perform our day-to-day activity, right?
Correct, Prabhuji. Correct.
Okay. So again, choice is us, with us. When you associate, association means what? You are getting influenced by them. So learn from or get influence from the devotees. When you are like not associating, actually, you are having some type of interaction which is required to perform your day-to-day
Hmm.
activity.
Hmm.
You do not get influenced by them. That is the key thing here. You just perform your duty as as an actor acting in a drama. If
Hmm.
actor acting in a drama will he get influenced by other characters playing, some other role? That way we should be performing our day-to-day duty when we are there outside in offices, in workplace, etc., etc. Just perform your duty without any aversion or attachment, making sure that I'm not going to get influenced by their behavior. We should have this strong conviction.
Yeah, that second part, Prabhuji, sometimes, yeah, is very, very well pointed by you. That second point of not getting entangled and influenced by them has to be probably strictly followed.
Yes. So in that way, if you see, if we consider that we are just playing a role here,
Mm.
I'm given a role here. I'm playing that role. I'll play that role very nicely, not getting influenced because it is just a role, and that comes with practice. First thing is to know these aspects and then practice it. And for that, whatever sadhana bhakti we do, that will give us this strong conviction that we will not get influenced by others. But we should not take this chance. Oh, I'm very strong, so let me associate with them. They are going to some club or pub, etc. I will go with them. I will not get influenced. That will not be possible. Why to take those risks? So we should be very, very careful to keep our contact to the minimum possible level, which is required to perform our duty effectively. That's it. Okay, so that will require, a lot of practice as well. And for that, we should be very, very strong in our sadhana bhakti, right? Chanting holy name of the Lord, doing our rounds, reading Prabhupada's books, etc. So these are like, antidote for all these garbage which we get from outside world. That is our vaccine, so to say.
Hare
Hopefully
Krishna,
that
Prabhu.
answers your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, it does.
Thank you. Okay, so, Sundarupa Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Vandana Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. You got
Yeah.
any analogy to explain now?
No, just thinking somebody's in what's called drowning in the flood. We're seeing.
Yes.
So how we can pull them? Either if they are like elephant, I'm like a small stick. So whether I should be when I pull them, I should not be inside, or that the elephant who is inside the flood, he will pull me. Like the sadhana should.
Yes. Correct. So first we should be strong enough, save ourselves first. Strong enough to save others, right? Just like they say, in that in airplane, if there is that oxygen mask, first you apply to yourself and then try to help others.
Yes, we'll
You
try.
come with so many analogies, Prabhuji.
No, no. Because I'm
It's
suffering. That's
amazing.
why. Thank you.
Amazing. Always amazing. It amazes me always.
Thank you.
Okay, so with this then we'll stop here then. I'm not sure if there is any announcement anybody has to make. Looks like no announcement then. I think in due course, whatever announcement is there will be published on our WhatsApp groups as well. Okay, so once again, I thank you all very much for your time and attentively listening. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की जय।
Yeah.
जगत गुरु शिशिल प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
इस ग्रेस
हरे
रामनाथ
कृष्ण।
प्रभु की
Yeah.
जय।
जगत गुरु शिशिल प्रभुपाद की जय।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.